What is up, Tomboy Official? What's going on? I am recording late on Monday. It is 4:52 p.m. We'll check in. Then we're gonna talk about, how are you guys doing? So, little check in. I would say, the only thing that's been weird is I slept weird last night. I don't know why. I was up till like 4. I didn't really write down everything. I did drink C4 yesterday, but I feel like it was early. Let me see what time I sent the message to my friends. It was less than half of a can. It was maybe about a third of a can. But let me see. I remember messaging somebody about it yesterday. Because we have this whole like C4 o'clock joke. Yeah, it was yesterday. 10:45 a.m. So I don't know if it would have kept me up. Dude, I got my heater on. I gotta turn this thing off. It's starting to melt. 1 second. Alright. I thought I had fixed my door. It needed some, what do you call it? The screws weren't gripping. And so I tried a method where you put a couple kind of toothpick sticks. I didn't have toothpicks, so I used, because I like a lot of incense, I used these incense. You know, incense has that little excess of like wooden stick that you could either like cut or break or whatever to kind of like put it in a burner or whatever kind of holder you have. But I tend to just have those in case I want to light a candle that's like burned pretty deep into one of those containers, or a candle. I have another candle that's burned pretty deep through itself, like through the middle of it. So I don't have a lighter anymore, like one of those lighters that has like the longer handle, like the handle and the longer, I don't know what you call it, spout, the longer part sticking out where the fire comes out. And so like I have it, but it doesn't light anymore. It's probably out of fluid. I don't know if you can add fluid because I think I have lighter fluid. No, this one, I might have to take it apart. It has a screw. I'll read the instructions and see if I can reload fluid, and if not, I'll probably just buy another one eventually. But since I don't have one right now, and since I, sometimes need like a bit of some extra, something a little bit longer to light something with, I kind of keep those sticks, a few of them. I don't keep like tons, but I keep some, and so I had some, and so I tried to use that to get the door, kind of fixed. I think it worked for like a week, and now it's kind of like, basically the hinge is like a little loose from the wall. One screw is like super lengthy. I tried to unscrew it, and it's like probably at least 2 times as long as the other ones. And so I'm like, to fix that hole, I either have to pack something in it or get like another longer screw. I think what they tried to do is use a longer screw to go past the length that was already worn, and that screw's probably been in there for like, no one's repaired that part of the wall since we've moved. I think we moved here in like 1999 or something, somewhere around there. Somewhere around like maybe like my junior or sophomore. It was before my junior year of high school, so maybe my sophomore or freshman year of high school we moved to this house. And so Yeah, guys. um, it's only the top hinge though, but I've been having trouble with it off and on for like quite a few years. Every now and then I fix it a little bit and then it breaks. And so I'm back into fixing things a little bit. I fixed it a few weeks ago and it's one thing that's back on my list now. Today, I did good today, even though I couldn't sleep till like 4 a.m. And I don't know if it was the C4, because that doesn't sound likely because I did have it even before noon, and noon is my cutoff. Today I had some C4 around like 11:30. I think it was 11:38 a.m. But I definitely was more active today. Yesterday I exercised a little bit and mostly cleaned for like almost an hour, just under an hour. And today I cleaned for maybe like 46 or so minutes and then did a lot of stretching and foam rolling for like 50 something minutes. And then did almost 10 minutes of just like bicep curls and like, you know, other kind of like calf exercises and stuff. Um, so I feel good about it. I think it was like a total of an hour and 49 minutes that I was kind of doing that whole process of cleaning and stretching and a little bit of strength exercise. But I've been liking kind of incorporating cleaning into my activities, my movement activities, because now it's like keeping things clean. And it gives me kind of even a little more productive movement before I start. Like it feels more productive than just stretching, even though stretching is productive. But it feels more productive. It is kind of a form of stretching though. It's like, just like movement. It's not as intentional as stretching, but it's like, I took out the trash, I cleaned out, I put how I was saying before, I have clothes that I have to put away that I kind of keep out. So all the clothes that were out from the last like day or two, I put those away. I mean, I pretty much did a pretty good job. Um, Cleaned off the rest of the little parts of the floor that had a little bit of dust on them. I put down my rugs because I cleaned my bedroom rug, my outside of my bedroom. I have a rug near my bedroom door, and then a rug, like two rugs in the bathroom. So I put those all back and folded all my laundry that has been dry, but all the stuff that I washed on, I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. And the car is smogged and back in order. And so everything's back up and running fine. Um, just, I don't know why I didn't sleep very good. I mean, I was online watching videos and stuff. I wasn't like really trying to sleep. I was like trying to watch videos, trying to find a book to listen to, but I just felt like I didn't want to go to bed. And I was online getting some work done till maybe 9:30 because I did have to go out yesterday and do those deliveries and then got my website back up and stuff. And so I was trying to make up for that time that I lost. And usually, like I mentioned before, lights out around 9:30. But I was like, whatever, like, I'm not going to sleep anyways, so at that time, so I might as well go longer. And maybe that impacted me staying up later, because I know I'm not going to sleep right away. And I was up, and I was like, I could probably be up till 11 or 12. And 12 came and went, and then it just kept going deeper into the night, and I was just watching YouTube, just scrolling all around. It's that dopamine, like it seems so mild, but if I would have just got offline, I probably would have just gone to bed. Now I haven't had melatonin for a couple days. I'm trying without it because I don't want to build a tolerance to anything, and I'm out anyways. So I'm like, let me just take a few days where it won't really matter if I don't sleep well. Well, I didn't sleep well. And I couldn't get up early. I did still wake up around 5, but I was like, heck no. And then I got up again around like 7:30, and I was pretty wide awake, but I was like, I've literally only slept like 3 hours or so. And so I decided to just lay until just before 10 a.m. So that's mostly why I'm getting a late start today, because I had a meal earlier. Around 10, I had 2 of those frozen breakfast sandwiches, and then it was like a lot of calories. And then a little tangerine. So it was like, that was like, can't do the math. It was like 540 calories. Then around 2:30, after I did all that like exercising and cleaning and stuff, I had a bison burger on some bread, and then half of a burger, half of just the patty, just like plain. I just kept it simple. A little ketchup, a little mustard, pickle, and whole wheat bread, because we have hot dog buns, but we don't have burger buns. For dinner, I don't know if I even need dinner, honestly. If we had soup, I'd probably just want to eat soup, honestly, like, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I had something with some B12 in it. I think those emergency powders have B12 vitamins in it. I think so. And sometimes B12 gives me like a bit of energy. So I'm wondering if that's what happened, or if it was just the fact that I stayed online too long. Because that's very likely. That very likely contributed, even if that wasn't the only thing. So right now I decided to record. I'm drinking this soursop tea. Put some lidocaine on my back like an old person. And I'm just so I'm not really gonna talk too much, I don't think, about that incel thing. You guys don't seem to like that topic too much. I thought it was interesting for a second, but I don't really have much more to say on it. But I hope you guys are doing good. How are you doing? Are things clean? How's your mood? How's your sleep? How's your eating? Are you exercising? Or are you balancing things out good? Are you getting some socializing in or making plans? What's going on? The only thing I've really got going on was a weird day, but I was like, let me not let that get in my way for today. Just because I had a weird night. It wasn't a bad night. It was just, I could afford to kind of have a night where I didn't sleep good. I mean, it can't go on like this for like that much longer. But, I was like, whatever. It's one night. I checked that soursop tea doesn't have caffeine. So I hope that what I read was accurate, because I don't need more caffeine. I think I had another third of, it must have been more. I had probably more than a third of that C4, because there's barely any left now. Like I said before, each can is like 200 milligrams. There's just a little bit left now from the last 2 days of drinking it. So, dude, did I get it on Saturday? Or did I get it on Sunday? I feel like Saturday I didn't do anything. I don't think I exercised Saturday at all. So I must have gotten it Sunday. I'm thrown off. But anyways, all I've been kind of doing was messing with TikTok. This appeal, it got rejected again. So I'm going to go on there and see if I can talk to some kind of live chat representative. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bot, but let me see if I can get a live representative on to just basically, I think I put something wrong where they want me to put in all this business information, but I'm not an LLC, so I don't have those documents, and I can't go in and edit what I put in because it's already verified or completed or whatever. There's no edit option. I can edit my tax information, but I can't edit this other information. And so I need to figure out what I can do. That's one thing I need to do. I need to update my spreadsheet about some of these job applications I've heard back from, and another one that contacted me. So I just want to update you guys about the job application process. If anybody's in it, and needs kind of, I mean, this isn't like professional advice, but it just, if you want my experience so far, most people in the fields where I'm applying say that they applied for 20 jobs a day. Some people did say that they used, this was back in like October, September of 2023. Some people did say they used just the Easy Apply. Most people said they did not use the Easy Apply. But sometimes the Easy Apply is the only option, and even if you look on their main website, sometimes you can't find a better application, or there's none available, and so you're stuck with what they give you. And so you can't really fully avoid Easy Apply like through LinkedIn or whatever if it's the only option. One thing I'm noticing is sometimes people contact that I've never applied to. And, you know, guys, don't get too excited. Don't get not excited, and don't not take it seriously, but don't get too excited, because some of these places, they lead to they're just not good. So this place reached out to me, and they sent me, you know, like, hey, you know, you look like a good fit, like, you know, schedule on our Calendly. And they emailed me, and they sent me the same message on LinkedIn. And this was like 6 something in the morning, and I obviously wasn't even really functioning at that time this morning. And, you know, I saw it when I went on to LinkedIn, or my email today. I don't know, I think my email first. And I was like, you know, I'm about to exercise. Let me just, there's no rush. Like, they're not going to be upset if I wait a couple hours. But I did see that they sent it at like 6 a.m. And so I waited. And by the time I did click the link, it was a 404 error link. Both of the links were. That's not a good sign, because they're sending out broken links. And that's not very professional. And I was like, okay, that's not good. That's not a good sign, you know? I'm like, dude, that's not a good sign, you know? But I left it alone, you know? And I just messaged the guy, and I was like, you know, this seems to be a 404 link. And I haven't heard back yet. Mind you, we're on like a time difference, so I think they're about 3 hours ahead of me. They're East Coast time, I believe. So I'm not expecting to hear back like exactly on a good timing, but I'm like, you did reach out to me, and I did not even apply for this job. And, you know, so those are things I look at where I'm like, they sent me a link that doesn't work, and they haven't replied. It might be a slow to reply thing. But if they do send me a link, will I schedule? Now, there are a lot of jobs out there that are commission only. And one thing that I'm thinking, I'm not desperate, but one thing that I'm thinking is, you know, I've mentioned this before, that I wouldn't mind jumping into a commission only job. With, ideally, if it was commission only, I would prefer it not to be full time. You know, obviously, because there's no guarantee you're making money. It's basically almost volunteering. If you make money, you make money. If you don't, you don't. And if you're brand new, I mean, who knows, you know, what the learning curve is. It might take a while to kind of learn the process. So every place I would recommend, look up on Glassdoor. At the very least, Google search, you know, Glassdoor, name of company, find out what people say. It seems pretty accurate. I've looked up places where I've worked before and it was pretty accurate. If it wasn't accurate to my experience, it was accurate to other experiences of people that I'd known on the job, where I could see where other people were saying, oh, like management, it was too political, or like, you know, there's too much politics in the office, or like, you know, favoritism and stuff like that. Like, I didn't experience those same things, but I did notice that at different sites, and heard other people that were friends or friends of friends actually like talking about those issues. And so, you know, I wasn't you know, I'm not getting like bummed out about any of this. It's just like how you play the game. But people are saying, you know, they've applied to 20 jobs a day. 20 is a bit much for me because I've got a spreadsheet that I'm filling out, and it's pretty detailed, and the spreadsheet kind of like shows like the point of contact that I'm at. So basically my spreadsheet says, you know, it's color coordinated by the type of job, the name of the company, the job title, the date that I found the job application, the date that I applied, the date that I finished the job application. The let's see what else. I'm doing this by memory. The website where the application is. Now, sometimes it's just through LinkedIn. Other times there's another application. I'm not even like messing with ZipRecruiter or Indeed right now, just because it's like it's too many things to try to mess with at once. So I'm just sticking to one platform, at least for like this week or so. I just don't feel like navigating too many platforms. So I'm trying to do at least 10 searches a day on weekdays. That would give me 50 applications a week. Ideally 20 a day, because some of them, you know, like, okay, say if it's just an easy apply. Say if I try to search, you know, I have a column for like contact people. Say if I can't find a contact person or an email address of a person to reach out to and be like, hey, I applied. Like, I'm not saying in exactly those words, but like, hey, I applied to this job on so and so date at this job title, you know, at this company, and hoping that I'm reaching somebody that, you know, is worth spending the effort reaching, and is the accurate person, or could at least contact the accurate person. But I just send a simple like couple sentences of, you know, hi, I'm so and so, applied to this job title at this job site on this date via LinkedIn, and you know, I think I'm a good fit, or I'm a good fit for this job, and would like to find some time on your calendar to talk about this position, you know, and that gets you a little bit in the door. Now, finding an actual contact, name, number, email, an actual LinkedIn person when you don't have a premium account to actually be able to contact, I use Apollo.io. Sometimes you can find people, sometimes you can't, because the free version of that is limited too. But yes. So, and there are other ways of searching, but it's like I can't spend all day trying to like find somebody. So right now I'm just doing it the quick, whatever's quick and dirty, whoever I can find right away. And if I can't find somebody, I kind of just move on. And I put, you know, no contact person, and so the rest of the pull down menu, I can't really get into, you know, made one contact initial email with this person, or any follow up or any other kind of information. It's just kind of like those columns aren't going to have anything going on in them. But all this other stuff that I have to update, it's going to have more. So, like I said, there's the experience of people reaching out where there's a broken link. I got to try to hear back. I got to add that to the list. Because who knows how it's going to go. They might reach out and it might just be a simple accident. But mind you, this is a commission-only position. Another site that I did apply to had really bad reviews. Like, people saying that it wasn't a good company, that you have to work. It's full-time, and you have to work past full-time, and it's commission-only. And so you might not even get paid for all that time. And if you don't hit all your marks during the week, you might be asked to work weekends. Now, I've told myself, I'm willing to do that for a week. So I'm willing to, go through a process to get a foot in the door at a site where I can practice some skills for a week. What is it going to hurt? It's a week where I might not have time or energy to spend making money elsewhere. And I'm okay with that. And the last option is a site that, when I looked on Glassdoor, it was a site I had applied to, and I guess when I looked at LinkedIn first, they only had 7 or so employees, about 7 to 10 employees. Over the last 3 days of this application being online, 100 people had applied, and I looked online and found immediately, within all the bad reviews, between February 29th of 2024 to even up to March 1st of 2024, so just within the last week, people saying that this company is shut down. At least 4 people said that. So I just simply, this person, the recruiter was like, send a Loom video and fill out this longer application. And I'm like, my first question back to them was, is this company still in business? So if I don't hear back, I'm not going to send the video or do anything, because that's a waste of time. Making a Loom video is going to take ages. Filling out the application is probably going to take at least an hour. I'm not willing to spend that time. And it might be commission only. They don't even have their pay rate listed. So it sounds like too much of a shot in the dark. And then I've heard back from other sites that said, oh, thanks for reaching back out. If you're a good fit, we'll reach back out to you. But just kind of like, they did correspond somewhat. Saying not just sending the automated email, we got your application, but someone actually reached out after I had emailed them that I had applied. Someone else emailed me back saying, this is how their process works, that I have to wait for somebody, to contact me back, if that's even going to happen. So it's like, okay, at least I heard back. So I'm getting a lot of feedback, a lot of data to work with, and I do kind of have a strategy with some of it. Best case scenario, the places that are reviewing my applications will be a better fit than these other ones that are either reaching out to me early and don't seem to be a good fit, or the ones that are just reaching out to me on their own that don't seem to be a good fit. But I know what I'm getting myself into, kind of weighing the pros and cons of it all. Pros and cons of going along with it, pros and cons of not going along with it. I feel like I'd be willing to waste a week just like grinding on something that I don't even want to do. And if it's a bad experience, I'm already expecting it's not going to be a good experience. And I don't mind quitting on the spot. It's not like maybe like a popular opinion, but in my opinion, I'm kind of like, who cares? You know, if it's already a bad business model, that's not a good fit for me. Why would I even bother giving 2 weeks notice? As long as it's not like in the contract or something, I don't really care. So, but if I did something commission only and I was actually making money and it did like seem like a, you know, decent environment, because all this stuff's going to be remote, but if it did seem decent, like a decent environment, I'm learning a lot, it might be worth my time. So I'm willing to kind of step in just to be like, let's see if it's worth my time. I'm already expecting that it's going to be like bad, that I'm going to just try to stick out a week. And if something goes toxic or wrong, even within a few days, I don't mind quitting on the spot. Like, I really don't. I'm not looking for that. I'm not trying to deal with drama, you know. But I think it is worth adding skills to a resume. That is my belief, you know. Instead of going a route of, hey, let's go get some more degrees and go to school for 4 years and get more debt. You know, get experience. So saying, okay, I've volunteered for this company. I mean, commission only, if you're not making money, you're basically volunteering, right? You're practically an intern if you're brand new. I mean, maybe those aren't the labels they're using, but, you know, that's basically what you're doing. It's volunteer work if they're not paying you. I mean, it's performance-based payment. It's not hourly-based pay. But, you know, to some extent, experience is experience. And in some of these fields, I have, like, no experience other than, like, you know, school projects and school training. And so, and if there are no internships available, or other ways to get the experience other than getting the job, might as well take whatever route is available. So I don't mind doing that. And I'm gonna see what else comes up. I mean, I'm just gonna update this spreadsheet for now. And see what my next phases are and reply to some of the other people who are, because it's a new week now, so new phase of replying. I need to put in my minimum amount of applications. I mean, it's evening now, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get them in. I did one yesterday. I wasn't going to do any on the weekends. I did one yesterday. So I might be able to do, like, if I'm having a hard time, I might do just 9. But 20 would be a good number to hit. 10 is honestly, like, ideal. For me, 10 is ideal. Because it's enough where there's a lot, but then I'm still following up with other stuff. Still trying to find some contacts for some of the ones that were harder to find. I might have to look on Indeed or look somewhere else. I mean, I'm putting in a lot of research to this and trying to make it manageable per day. It is boring. It's so boring. It's like the most boring thing of the day. But, I mean, no one else is going to do it for me, you know? So, I'm just going to have to sit and bang them out. So, I have options. I've been listening to a podcast. I've been listening to Alex Hormozi's book, his new book. Or, I don't know, see what Joe Rogan's got out. So I can just put that stuff in the background. I'm going to maybe shoot for 20 today, but I do want to do this TikTok thing too. So I might actually try the TikTok thing first, in case they keep me on hold. And then go from there. But that's going to be my evening. Late start today. I gotta find a way to get some more sleep tonight. Maybe if I just have a light snack for dinner, because I really am not that hungry. Let me see how many calories I ate for the bison burger. Let me see. Bison patty calories. Calories, ground bison. This is 248, that can't be right. 152 calories, and I had 1.5. So let me see. So that's 228 calories just for the meat itself. And see how much is the whole grain bread. It's about 80 calories per, so about 160 calories in the bread for the two. And then like the pickles, ketchup, mustard, that's not a lot. And then I had fries. The shoestring fries. Calories. Let's see. Because if I'm at the amount of calories I need to be in, I don't really care if I eat more. 150 calories per 84. I don't know. Let's call it 100 calories. I'm just guessing because I don't really know. I didn't eat that many of them. I didn't even finish them. And then, let me see, so 488, and then I'll add my morning. So I'm at a little over 1,000 calories, maybe close to 1,100 calories, so I could probably eat another 300-400 calories or so and be fine. It's just like I feel like I'm eating so much, like I'm spending so much time eating today, because I'm trying not to eat too late. So I might take a break near 6:45 or so, eat a little snack. So yeah, that's about where I'm at. So if you guys are in the same spot, trying to look for something better, job-wise, this is kind of my process right now. I'm following a process that other people followed. Once I get to about 200, I think about 200, I need to double check on Discord, but I think about 200 applications, then I'm gonna reevaluate. But for now, I'm just gonna keep the same method. As far as hearing back, I've heard back from at least, I don't know how many, honestly. I want to say like seven places. Out of like, I don't know how many. Let's call it, let's say 10%. So let's say 70. Let's say 70 applications and 7 responses. I don't know. I'm guessing. I could be give or take 10 to 15 applications, give or take about 1 or 2 replies. So somewhere between like maybe 4. I think it's more than 4 though, because I just mentioned 3, and I know I have at least 2 others in my email, if not 3 or 4 more. Okay, so I'll stick with that. 7 responses per 70 applications. So about 10% reply rate. And that's with me reaching out and some people just reaching out to me without me having applied. Just from having my LinkedIn optimized. And so, and from engaging on LinkedIn. I've been engaging, trying to post every day or repost every day. That kind of increases engagement with the algorithm. Another step I'm going to need to take, I'm not there yet, but like, I need to add the companies, add the hiring managers, or if I find someone that's contactable, try to add or follow them, connect or follow them, and either like a post or comment on a post. Staying on the radar. I'm doing what's recommended. There are many more steps to this process, but I'm just at the beginning phases. It gets me a little bit of motivation to record about it, but it's really not that interesting. It's just a numbers game right now. I'm playing a numbers game, trying to get my foot in the door somewhere, expecting that I might have to dabble in a couple places that I'm not interested in and have a couple potentially not so fun and some time wasting experiences with the minimal silver lining of at least I got some couple skills to add to my resume. Even if it's a week's worth, I could try to quantify it, did this in 1 week, volunteered for this place or whatever, did volunteer work. And that's another thing too. We'll get into this later, but one of the coaches in the connections I have did mention, what was I gonna say? If they do contact you, you could ask for internship opportunities, volunteer opportunities, if they're willing just to train you for free, and you have the time to work for free with the potential to get hired from a job you want that's already rejected you if you don't have enough experience. It's worth asking if you've already got them on the phone. If you're already in an interview and you get rejected on the spot, why not just be like, hey, could I work for free? Could I just put in some volunteer hours, do a week or 3 weeks, or you'd have to probably call the numbers. 20 hours of work for 3 weeks or whatever, just for a recommendation, whatever, just for experience for my resume. You're not even asking them to hire you. Or you could even go as far as, 90-day internship, unpaid, 40 hours a week, and then you can reassess if you want to hire me after. That's a risk. It's a risk. But being willing to take more of a risk, and, if it's a job you really want, if you're working there for free, you're going to see from the inside if it's really a spot that you really want to work at. You might not want to work there after you've been there for a couple weeks and working for free and being like, dude, I wouldn't even do this for money. Or it might be great and you'll know. And you got to at least try. So, it doesn't hurt to ask. If they've already said no, the worst they can say is no again. I've asked before, and they shot me down, and it was fine. I was like, whatever, they already said I wasn't a good fit because I didn't have enough experience. And I asked them about methods to get experience, and they kind of told me. I asked them about commission only. They say if I could afford to do that. I asked them about internships. They said if I could find one. And I asked them if I could volunteer for them, and they said no. And I asked them about other methods to get, the experience. They didn't really have any details on that. yeah, I mean, all right, I gotta get into this stuff. It's 5:35, 5:36 p.m. Let me 5:37 p.m. Let me get at least something done before I have to have another last evening snack. And I'm gonna try to have lights out 10:30 tonight. That's late, but I got a late start, so I don't want to like jip myself. The time I need to actually finish at least my minimum, because I have yesterday I scheduled out my week, and I have what I need to do for today. So I'm gonna just go down the list. All right, and that's it for now. If I've got more, I will update. And if anyone else is following this process, I'll know by the people who listen. I'll see how many people are listening. If any of these tips are helpful, and I will try next time, if people seem to engage with this content, I'll try next time to put some resources, some examples of what I've been doing. If I can, maybe I'll even post a blank spreadsheet if I can. Share with other people who are looking for work if you think they would like any of these tips. If you think someone's brand new to it, not everybody has the same goals as me, mind you. I'm not coming right out of high school. I have a master's degree in a whole other field. I worked in that field. If I count unpaid practicums, I was 9 years working in another field, and so I do have some overlap, even when I have no direct experience. Sometimes the field of psychology is so broad that there's usually overlap. You're usually on the phone, you're usually doing paperwork, you're usually doing people skill related tasks, customer service tasks, filing, data entry, writing, not article writing, but chart writing. You're reviewing, you're editing. You're doing so many different things. Sometimes you're even training and helping interview. You're teaching almost. When you're doing group therapy. You're researching, providing worksheets for coping skills, and you're doing so much stuff. You're not just sitting doing therapy and that's it. You're doing so much stuff. Finding local resources. In some cases, driving out to people, connecting with doctors, faxing paperwork, collaborating with treatment plans, and talking to all kinds of medical equipment sites and medication from pharmacies, and you're talking to all kinds of people, homeless outreach, and all kinds of stuff. So almost all those things I mentioned, you'll find at least some of that in almost any kind of job, unless it's construction or some kind of outdoor work. And so I do have a lot of overlap in a lot of fields. But I'm also not a job coach or anything, so I can't really provide direct advice. I would just say I just wanted to record that at least with the method I'm using, I'm getting some response. At the moment, it's approximately 10% response rate, which is better than the 0 response or less than 10% that people usually get. So I'm using a tried and true method. I need to update and make sure I'm using the most up-to-date method, because like I said, I'm basing what I'm doing on what people have reviewed around September of 2023. So I'll get back on here if you guys gravitate towards this content. or at least if people are sharing it with others who are wanting to know this kind of information, I'll see that people are engaging or interested and have been listening, and I basically am gonna try to record based on what people are listening to. If I see that it's only just like a little bit of people listening to something, it's like, okay, the title didn't catch anybody's attention. Nobody wants to hear this. Like, so, you know, I don't want to just be talking to myself. So, I mean, I don't. It doesn't bother me. It still helps. It's still valuable to me. But I feel like in today's economy, most people just are looking for a better job opportunity. And if I can do anything to help that, even if it's just rambling on and on about things that maybe I'm doing something different than other people have never heard of, that they can incorporate into their search, I feel like that's valuable. Everybody's struggling out there. I'm trying to be here to make it easier. Even though it's not easy for me all the time either, but we're kind of all in this together. So, alright, I really gotta get off here and get on with what I need to do. I'm totally stalling because I don't want to do any of it. I'm literally sitting at my desk, like, with my computer closed, and like I literally don't want to open it and start, logging on TikTok and like doing all this other nonsense. But alright, I'm gonna give it at least 45 minutes.